The second question I want to start off with is what should a real estate investor expect? I know we've kind of gone over a little bit, but we've got a lot of our members and our students. I know all of us have a RIA, and all of us have a lot of people listen to us. What are we telling them to do and get prepared? I know we're getting a lot of calls. What do I do next? What do I do next? Brant, I know I'd like to get you to start it on this one real quick because I know you got to leave soon. So give us an idea of what you're talking to your students about and the people you teach, because I'm sure they're knocking your door down and ringing your telephone.
We can't hear you, Brent.
There's a bunch of static.
A lot of static, Brant.
How about now?
Good.
Go.
About that, I don't know. I didn't change anything. Get your house in order. Get your house. Get your business in order. Get lean as you can. You don't want to stagnate growth, but get lean as you can. Just in the event of worst case scenario. AC hit on it. We're ramping up our marketing now. I'm not gonna. Kind of hesitant to say this, but a very well-known national franchise that buys houses. I've been told that a lot of their franchisees, real estate investors, have reduced or stopped their marketing like in the last month, and I'm like, I thought those guys, like, I don't know, I didn't think that they thought like that, because there's everything we've talked about equates to fear, uncertainty, volatility, all this kind of stuff, and you put an equal sign means opportunity. So we are ramping up our marketing as we speak. We hit all of our old leads last week with RVM drops, text blast. We're hitting the AC hit on it. We're hitting the landlord list hardcore right now. Like right now, I think that's going to be a big opportunity. So we're hitting those really, really hard. The thing with the stock market bounce back, I think that we've got a window to kind of get out for the next 4 to 6 months, and that's why I've got like a $450,000 house going on the market that happens to have a raccoon stuck on the roof right now. We just got a quote. It's $1,500, by the way, to remove a raccoon. I'm like, the dude's just gonna have to die, man. He's gonna. And we'll get them out later. Cut that, Stephen, from the animal rights people.
Raccoon King.
Yeah, Raccoon King. So we're cleaning shop, but we're also being aggressive, right? So it's kind of weird. Like, we have to be very conservative and lean, but aggressive, right? So it kind of sucks, but you may have to drop the office, or you may have to, God forbid, run a little bit leaner with employees, but invest heavily on marketing so you're prepared to get that office or add on staffing in the future when the opportunities start coming abroad. We're under contract right now too on a 51 lot subdivision that we're building out as basically a mobile home, manufactured home park. By the way, it sounds better when you say manufactured housing than mobile home. But so we're really going to dive deep into looking for those opportunities of very, very affordable housing, because if the market just totally tanks, we go to worst case scenario, we're great there. If the economy does great, we're still good there, right? So that's what we're looking for, ways that win-win opportunities. I've done so many where, oh crap, this deal needs to go right or I'm going to get hurt. And I felt it in 2000, around 2012, the last time oil and gas tanked. That's when I was doing a lot of my height stuff, flipping high-end houses like that one that AC has right now. And I'll be praying for you, my friend, that you get a contract soon, because I've been through that where I had $500,000 to $800,000 houses, and I'm like, they're not selling. Oh crap! I had to refinance them. I was negative cash flow for a long time, and I got through it all. Those are the main things we're doing. We're focused on win-win. You got to safeguard yourself. This is not, in my opinion, the time that you take risks, right? You want to buy everything with multiple exit strategies. In the next 3 to 6 months, I think we're all going to be very, very conservative, seeing where this thing's going. Maybe rather than taking it down yourself, just wholesaling it, working on finding your buyer's list. There's one other thing I was going to mention. We're going through refinances as well right now. We're getting kind of the ones that we are going to keep. We're going to get in this cheap money, low interest rates, as long as it lasts. But I think that's going to last a really long time, to be honest, with the economy doing what it's doing. I think that's it, for the most part. That's what we're doing. That's what we're focusing on. I think the main message is be very, very cautious, but at the same time, whenever you see opportunities that you don't know how long this window is going to last. I think we've all been saying, you hate to see when people are suffering and businesses are going out. And, I know that crime is going to rise and drug addiction goes up and alcoholism and divorce rates. All this kind of stuff is a really bad side of things when we go through a time like this. We do. But we've all been saying, I know I know you guys have, man, I miss 2008 and 9, whenever we could just pick up deals and equity and just all over the place, and the lack of competition. We've already seen a lot of our competitors leave the market immediately. Opendoor, OfferPad, Zillow, those guys are not buying right now. And I can't tell you how many houses that we've lost, the last 12 to 18 months from those outfits alone. Now, I did hear an Opendoor commercial this morning, so I don't know if that's old marketing or if they're coming back already, but I've heard they're going to be on the sidelines for quite a while. So that's it. I guess that's everything that comes to my mind and what we're talking about.
Very good.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I was going to say about the financing. So this is what we've done. The big banks, we've got like our Fannie Mae type of loans that are with your big institutional lenders. Most of them, from what I've seen, it's a 90-day forbearance. You got to pay that. As soon as those 90 days are up, you got to pay it back in full. We're not even doing that. It's too much paperwork. It's too much. What's the point? Our local banks, we went to all of our local banks and we said, hey, we need a 90-day forbearance. They said, well, are you losing rents? Are you losing this? Are you losing that? I said, nope, we're actually doing pretty good. I do have about a dozen vacant homes that are under contract, under rehab, or getting market. So I got like 12 of them right now. And because we've removed 6 tenants in the last, I chose not to extend leases in the last 2 to 3 months so I could get these houses ready for the market, by the way. So I had, happy tenants paying the rent, and I'm like, hey, you got to go. And then Corona and all this stuff happens. I'm like, oh, crap. So I'm in this. Hey, you still here? So I'm in this thing, whether I like it or not. And I had 2 unexpected tenants that I was just they were long-term. So I'm like, let's go to market. So I did put 4 on the market last week. We've got contracts on 2. We had a contract on a 3rd, and supposedly they lost their job. So that one backed out, but we're expecting another contract today on another house. And the other one's like $130,000 price point. So I think we're going to be good on those 4. I went to my local community banks that we've got, I don't know, probably 15 loans, and said, hey, I need to take advantage of the 90-day thing. They've all approved it. And I said, look, I'm just doing this, honestly, I'm just worst case scenario. That's all I'm doing this for, managing my cash flow. I've never defaulted or missed a loan in my life. I'm just asking for a favor here, given the situation. They all said yes. My private lenders, and we're holding about 60 something properties between rentals and owner finance notes and some of our flips. My private lenders, I'll tell you, my game plan with my private lenders is they don't miss a payment. I don't ever talk to them about forbearance, any of that kind of stuff, because my private lenders have been through me through thick or thin, and I know when it gets ugly, I want them having 100% just, peace that their money is safe with me, and it is. So my goal is to keep them paid, and I'm updating them. Hey, these are things we're looking at, and I've let them know I may need some help, but as far, our plan is you're not going to miss a payment. And by the way, get ready, tell your friends and family members, invest with Brant whenever these deals start hitting. So that's my game plan on the financing side of things, and how we're attacking everything.
Awesome. Mr. Vigil, you've got a lot of students and a lot of people you work with and partner with. What are you getting for your investors? What are you telling them to do? What do they expect?
Well, first off, when we went around the first time, I didn't introduce myself. I think a lot of people know me, Steve Vigil, and we've got the Wealth Club, and we've also got SVSM Enterprises and a number of SVSM companies that do a lot of other things, from holding rental properties, buying mortgage notes, owner finance. So I just want to throw that in there.
There you go.
But what Brant says has got a lot of truth to it. We're doing a lot of the same type of things, and we're telling our students and all of our members, you've got to tighten your belts, and you've got to start thinking of being very prepared as we go towards the future. Because it's wide open right now. I think we all have a pretty good handle of opportunities that are going to present themselves to us. The length of time this window is going to be open is going to be we don't have any idea yet. This we've all talked about it. This is a medical crisis, not a financial crisis. So how things are going to take shape, still anybody's guess. But I think the big part of it is going to be jobs coming back online, and the longer people are out of work, then the more opportunity it's going to give us as we move forward. As far as the forbearance goes, everybody's kind of touched on that. And I actually went and checked at my bank on my personal house just to see what their rules were, because I was curious, so I could have some information. And I've also looked at several other banks. And this is from, especially if this is your homestead. We're not talking about investment properties, but if this is your homestead, every bank I've seen so far that's offering forbearance, in their rules and regulation, they make it very clear that at the end of the period of that forbearance, all money is due for your house. So if any back payments are due all at one time. So could we see an opportunity from that down the road? That's not going to be right. That's down the road probably. So I think that we might have opportunity there. We are also, we had already started doing some different things in our business before all this happened. Because of where the economy was. The economy has been doing very good, been very strong for a long time. And it's also made it very hard. I mean, I'm a big buyer, like Brant, like so many of you guys, we're big buyers. But when the economy is very good and prices are very high, it makes it very difficult for us to find the types of deals that we want to buy and that we need to buy. So we started making plans and changes last year in what we're doing. And I'm now we're taking year with everything moving forward, from our lenders, from the type of properties we're looking at. I'll like I said, we put 2 deals under contract yesterday, but these are lower end properties. The price points were way low on these properties that we've got them under contract for. So will I probably just try and wholesale them to start off with? Yeah. But if I don't, I could close on both of them without a problem. It wouldn't be an issue to close on them and turn them into rental properties, or finance properties. So multiple strategies are very important right now. So those are the things that we're doing. Those are things I'm telling all of our students and all of our members they should be doing with everybody that's calling me. I think getting your financing in order is really, really important. Know where you can get money from when it's time to pull the trigger. We've always been very big in the private money sector, and we're having lots of communication with our lenders. We've got money out on loans right now on deals that we're working. I'm all very, very big believer, exactly like Brent said, our private lenders, they will be taken care of no matter what we have to do at all costs. There's no exception to anything else. We've talked to our lenders on refinance properties for rental properties, asked about different, deference programs that they've got set up. And most of them have got ways that they'll work with us if we need to. So far at this point, we have not chose to go that way. We are making all of our payments. But in the future, if all of a sudden tenants stop making payments to us, we can go and talk to them again, and we can set up a program. But our method right now is to keep paying everybody that we can. On the personal side of stuff, like credit cards or anything like that, pay your minimum payments right now. You don't need to pay extra on bills if you don't have to. Those are the kinds of things that we're doing ourselves. That's just and there's no right or wrong. Anybody can do it. Whatever you're comfortable with, I think, is what you should do. But this is what we're doing. I think there's still going to be, there's going to be great opportunity for us, and being prepared for that right now is really important. And like I said, we'd already started going directions for other things, and we're pushing very, very heavily in that direction right now to put those other programs online even bigger and better than where we were already. That's really about what we're doing, and that's what I'm telling anybody that's talking to me. If asking for my advice, that's kind of what I'm telling them.
Great advice for everybody. Gabe, you're up next. As far as what you've got, a lot of students you work with and a lot of partners you work with, and I'm sure they're asking you the same thing. What do we do next? What do they expect for 2020? How are they going to invest? What kind of advice are you talking to them about?
Yeah, for sure. So what we do is very similar to what everyone else is saying. First is really where your mindset at. So we're going over, like we say 3 F's. So basically, where's your family, where's your finances, and what's your future look like? So that's part of this whole survive mode of where most of us are at, is saying, okay, where's your family at? That's a health issue, right? Where's your family at with kids and with everything else, to how much time do you have on your schedule right now? And this is for a lot of people who had full-time jobs or did real estate as a part-time job. They weren't doing it full-time and whatnot. This is a good opportunity for them if they're at home, right? Because now they might have a little bit more time than they did before to study, where they could wake up a little bit earlier. They don't have to go to work right away, get out the door. They could spend time in the morning getting some education in, getting some training in, learning some new skills, going through some of those things that was really cumbersome for them to do before in a different environment. The other thing that we do is just start looking for the future. Okay, where are you at right now financially? Okay, that's some of the financial area where we're saying, okay, do they, like pretty much everything everyone said is, how's your finances? Do you have anything to rely on? Do you have any backup reserves to pull out? Credit, you name it, pretty much everything everyone said. And then we're helping them get set up for the future. So this is the time to invest in yourself and invest into your marketing. If you slow down on marketing right now, I mean, I'm pretty aggressive in just how I talk. And I would say, I don't know how you're going to make it coming out of this thing if you're not thinking about marketing right now. So we've already been transforming the way we do it, our business, from December to February. So whenever this hit, we kind of was like, we were ready. We're like, oh my gosh, it happened sooner than what we thought. But we've been ready to do a lot of mobile stuff to stay lean. So we've been helping everybody that we know say, okay, are you getting lean? Do you really need that office? Can you do more conference calls? Can you do more communications? Most of my team have already been in their own home offices and whatnot. So for probably 3 or 4 months. So we already have that training in place of what worked, what didn't work, and how to have these good conversations and how to grow. The other thing is, and I know that we've touched on a little bit, is what kind of marketing are we going to be doing and who are we marketing for, right? So we talked about a lot of the problems going on, but what does those problems mean? That means that we might not have all the buyers at the normal pricing that we would be used to. So what do we do instead? So we're going to start seeing stuff like seller financing, sub-2s, very creative type of deals to come out of this stuff. And that's what I think people need to spend their time educating themselves on. So anyone who comes to us, and that, I mean, I have people from realtors to brand new people saying, hey, I'll call them up and say, are you doing any driving around? Are you doing even looking at properties? What are you doing right now? You used to be a teacher. And I'll send them links, or I'll send them free or just YouTube videos of, hey, hone up your skill on this. Well, I don't really know how to do these other things. I'm like, okay, well, if you can hone up your skill on this, our team's doing these other things, I could come and rely on you, right? And then now you're part of our team, and now we can help you grow and you can help us grow, because we have to learn how to, the people that are still doing this and having a good time and willing to be involved in real estate investing, we're going to be, I'm calling everybody who's on this chat right now. We have talked to each other. We have texted to each other. We've asked, hey, what's going on and how can we help each other? It's the same thing with our team and some of the people in our networking group that we've helped, and some of our students. We're doing the same thing of saying, hey, this is happening. It's not going to go away. What's the exit strategy though? And so every time we go into doing investing, Brant said it earlier, is that we might want to have more exit strategies. There was a time where just a couple months ago where the only exit strategy was to just sell it. Well, now we're entering into a season where we're going to have to find some very creative strategies, right, to help these people move out of their own properties, figure out where they need to go, pick up some stuff for us. It is a good opportunity, but for those who have the skills, it's a good opportunity. So I remember in 2008 and 2007, when all this stuff happened, I remember to go into somebody, and that person I thought had the skills to help me move to the next level. And all they said was, hey, we're having a good time. We're having a blast. Our net worth is crazy growing. And I asked them for help, and they weren't able to help me at all. And so I knew in my head, hey, I have to learn the skills, so whenever that happens again, I could be in front of the game instead of just watching everybody go by. So I think that's really the most important thing. The big takeaway for me during this time is, if you already have your house in order to some degree, and you have some type of financial structure, if you have even credit cards that have 0% interest for 18 months, those are things that you should be looking at now, or putting them in your LLC or whatever. Those are good to have, because we don't know, and everyone's talked about it. But the additional thing I would add to this group is just saying, learn the skill sets. Go and research, go talk to a couple people and saying, what other skill did you need besides wholesaling, flipping, and renting, right? Because those things, I think, is going to be some awesome times to help people out of situations, but then also gain some wealth for yourself.
Got it. AC, do you have a question? But if not, I'd like to pose the same question to you. You've got a big following, and you've got a lot of students you've mentored over the years. I'm sure you're getting a lot of these same questions. But what do I do next? Maybe I'm a newbie. Maybe I'm got a couple of houses. What do I do? How do I make more money? Give us an idea of what you're telling your guys.
Yeah, and it's funny because me and Gabe actually talked not too long ago about this, and I recently had a baby. So Ceci and I had a baby about 2.5 months ago.
We talked about your baby?
We did. Well, we talked about
and we did.
and the baby. We talked about a lot of stuff. But preparing for the baby to come, and it's, we have 5 boys. That was our first girl. I wanted to spend more time at home and be with Ceci and the baby, and be able to work more from home. So I actually, in late December, January, it started talking about it before that, but actually started implementing it in December, January. We had a 5,000 square foot office. I cut that down to a much smaller office where I can just go and meet people one-on-one if I need to. And I don't need the space for classes and everything like that. I started going more online with mastermind group and my trainings and everything like that. And this just kind of, so we were kind of prepared by accident, right? I was preparing for the baby to come and changing my lifestyle up in the way I do business. And this just kind of fell right into that. But what I have noticed is being, like Brant was talking about, being more lean, having a more lean business helped us to pivot. Because the way, if I would have been still doing things the way I was doing it in last year, moving that ship around, because it was a huge machine, right? You know, I mean, we have classes with a lot of people present in the classroom, and I had a lot of space for that. And it would have just been like maneuvering a cruise ship, right? You can't make a turn real quick and change anything. But now with being lean, we did have a smaller office. So I had like 6 acquisition people instead of a classroom that could hold 40 people. I only needed space for 6 people, 6 to 8 people. Really, I have a little bit more room, but 6 to 8 people is what I was planning on having working acquisitions for me, an acquisition team and disposition team. And now they're all not even working at the office. They're all working from home, and it's easier. And with all the tools that are available now, like Zoom and GoToWebinar and everything like that, we can still meet and still be present and see each other in a virtual way. But it has made pivoting a lot easier, right? And I don't have a lot of students that had big companies like that, because like most of our weight, I guess you would say, and cumbersomeness came from our coaching business, right? Our real estate business has always been very virtual and very mobile. And with that being said, I didn't have a lot of students that had a lot of huge offices or something like that. So a lot of them worked from home. So it's been easier to pivot into virtual closing now. Like I've always been big on virtual close. We closed most of our deals on the phone. And it's been that way since I started. I've always closed most of my deals on the phone. And then, so pivoting is a lot easier when you have a smaller business like that. Now with my students, I'm buying properties with my students if it's a good deal, like the multifamily stuff. I'm helping them find deals, putting people in connections. Like some people have money and they don't want to deal with the sticks and bricks, but they want to be involved passively, using their money to get other students in deals or get deals with ourselves. So our mastermind group is very close-knit community where we're doing a lot of deals together. What I wasn't expecting is I've actually had 2 people sign up for my mastermind group this week, that one of them, she's not working, but she had money saved up and she's like, hey, this is my opportunity to get in real estate, and I want to learn everything right now and start trying to get my business going now, which I think there is opportunity for that, because like we cover all the way from wholesaling to buy and hold and lending, private lending or whatever, passiveness. So she wanted to do that. And another guy who's still working, he's in the trucking business, and his job's pretty secure because he's in the trucking business, right? They're still, having to deliver goods and everything. So he wants to get into the business, and he has money, you know what I mean? So he might want to be an investor, and he also wants to get his business going. So like he's trucking during the day, and then when he comes home, he's working on his real estate business at night. I wasn't expecting as many people to be looking for getting into the business at this time that there are. But that caught me a little bit by surprise. But we're able to be in touch with everybody via, masterminds and meetings every week online and virtual through Zoom and GoToWebinar, which has completely changed the game. You have to learn how to use technology. You know what I mean? Like technology has changed everything. And even in the investing realm, like I said, we've always been big on the virtual wholesaling, but we were virtual wholesaling from an office. Now everybody's spread out all over town, and we're still virtual wholesaling, but from everybody's individual home. And now we're starting to spread out into other markets across the country, like Philadelphia and Atlanta, South Carolina, North Carolina. And that's all made possible, by doing things virtually, right? And we've been good at it, but now we're expanding that a little bit more. And I'm telling my students the same thing. It's possible. And I think when they see that it's possible and they see you're doing it, it makes it a lot more for them to believe they can do it. And then they're willing to jump in there and put in the work. And another thing is, like I think Rick talked about it, death, divorce, debt, default. all of those things are going to happen, and they are opportunities, right? And some people are like, well, man, you know, you're kind of like, do you feel like a vulture going out there looking for these situations? And I'm like, look, we look for these situations every day anyway. And we're not vultures. We're here to offer a solution. And I truly believe if you really have the best intentions, the money comes to you. If you're out there chasing the dollar and you're trying to rip somebody off and you're just trying to make what you can in the now, it's going to come back on you and that money's going to run, right? But we didn't create this virus. Well, no, we didn't, who knows? But we didn't create the virus. We didn't, you know, we're not creating all, you know, the deaths are coming from the virus, right? We didn't wish that on anybody. We didn't create this situation. Those are just things that are happening. That's just the game that's going on around us. We can only play the hand we're dealt, right? So being able to help people in those situations and make money, that's just business. And you can still make money doing business and help people at the same time. But we didn't create the virus. We didn't create these situations, you know, and there's gonna, like you said, there's gonna be a lot of divorce that goes on from this. There's a lot of, so besides the death from the viruses, the suicide rate has gone up tremendously because of financial stress and financial issues anyway, right? So that's another form of death that's going to impact our world. And we didn't create that either, but all we can do is be there to help people that are dealing with those situations.
Well, I agree with you a lot, and I think you hit a key factor that Russ Corp and a lot of our investors, y'all are going through virtual and technology and working with our students and our members, the Zoom calls and Skype and whatever you use is becoming more and more and more. We're using it a lot. Our training we do is all online. Our coaching is all online. Our groups that we purchase houses with, we all do Zoom meetings every week. I think it's fantastic because it gives you an opportunity to really communicate and stay on top of your business. I'm glad to see that trend. And I'm like you, we don't go to the office that much. We have a place that we go to if we need to. We got a place that's got a good conference area. So I'm seeing that trend also. And I think all of our students appreciate that because we can record things and they can come home from work and see it at night. So it's a good thing to do. Fabian, you've got a big following. And I know that you work with a lot of your students and a lot of your associates, and you partner with them and you work with them. What kind of questions are they doing with you? What are you telling them that they need to do for 2020?
Well, I think everybody is different, but in my opinion, or for myself, I'm taking care of what I have already, helping my tenants, guiding them to resources, because most of them will not even know how to apply for things. So if you help them, essentially you're helping yourself as well. In my case, I'm also reducing my bills. So I'm calling companies to ask for discounts or for better service or something like that. What else? The Section 8 and people who are depending on the government, I think are great tenants right now because they don't really lose any income because most of them don't work anyway. So I think I'm gonna accept more of those tenants who don't rely on jobs. It's what it is. Having other streams of income. In my case, well, with eXp Realty, so having residual income helps. Just this week, I have 2 or 3 people join our team, so that's also taking care of some bills. We were already prepared because eXp is already in the cloud. What else? I'm building a website called storeclosing.com. So all the retail businesses are hurting already before the virus, and it's gonna be even worse for them. So this website will advertise all the retail businesses going out of business. That's why the name is storeclosing.com. And not only that, but I will tell you the specific discounts and so many other things. So stay tuned for that. So I think it's time to reinvent yourself, not just real estate. I love real estate, but I don't think we should rely only on real estate, even though real estate is so big. When I get into mobile homes, just like rent, I think that's a great business, especially nowadays where people cannot afford a big house. So most people will be able to afford a mobile home. So I think that's a great strategy. Taking care of your lenders, especially your private lenders. So I want to make more a relationship with private lenders. I already talked to my private lenders, and I asked them for forbearance, not because I need it right now, but if you look good on your bank statements, you will get loans. So that's my reason to hoard money right now, so I can apply for loans. I'm gonna have a really good 1040 for 2019 as well. So that way I can apply for more loans later on. So that will be a good recommendation to take care of your credit, take care of your income tax, so you are able to apply for conventional money, because I think most of the private money will be a little scarce because either people are too scared to lend you money, or they want to take advantage themselves on the good deal. So either way, it's good to have more avenues of money. As far as other people, I think if you have the skills to know what to do in this business and this time, you're gonna make a lot of money. At the beginning, I was really scared because of the uncertainty. I didn't know how many people were going to pay rent, and I didn't know the banks were gonna give us the forbearance. But now that I'm in the acceptance period, and I'm actually like excited about this moment. At the same time, of course, I'm sad for a lot of people who are losing their jobs and stuff like that. But I know like people like you and me and people in this panel will take a great advantage of this. Like I always thought, I wish I knew all these things like from the beginning, so I can take even greater advantage of on times like this. So I feel really prepared, and for other people, I think they need to study strategies like Subject-2, because you don't need a lot of money for that, and combine those strategies. Like black and white deals are not longer doable, or not as doable as before. You really need to be creative. Subject-2s, wraps, owner financing, partnering with other people work. So that's about it.
But it's like you're doing a lot of education, supporting not only your students, but a lot of your tenants and helping them out, because that holds your business together. And definitely it can help with all your associates and friends that work with you to succeed. So I admire you for that. That's a real good thing to do. A lot of mentors are only in it for the money and not for helping. And helping is a big part of growing your students and your base and helping everybody. Rick, I know we've talked about it, but kind of give an idea what Russ Corp's doing and Houston Buyers Club is doing, kind of help our investors what they kind of expect in 2020, because we get calls all the time.
Well, I think one of the things that we have to think about right now, and what we're telling a lot of people is, look, you're afraid out there. We get it. You know, you're scared. You don't know what's going to happen. But don't feel pressured to make a snap decision on whatever it is that you're going to do moving forward. You know, we've all learned, you know, just through experience, you know, snap decisions are typically what? They're poor decisions. So we need to really take a moment, step back. And you know, history tells us, you know, that quite frankly, we got plenty of time to make the correct decision, to make the right assessments, and look at your options. So, you know, we've all talked about the same thing. I was really amazed, though, frankly, we hadn't talked a lot, you know, as a group in a while. Virtual presence is really becoming paramount now. I think that all of us have kind of gone that route where we're more on this type of media that we're doing today. We're not doing the large groups of people get together. We, our coaching now, even our group coaching, is virtual. We do group Zoom calls, group phone calls, conference calls, whatever we need to do. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean if you have a situation where you need to see us face to face, or go out and look at a property with you, then we're going to say, no, just take your phone, take some pictures, and put the video on, and we'll tell you what's going on. Oh, look, man, we're out there too. Come on, guys. I mean, that's just part of the business. But the reality dictates that, it's smart right now to really mitigate those expenses, your overhead that you have, so that you can really be ready and have the cash presence available when you need it for what's important. And I got to tell you, Gabe said it probably right. It's family first. Make sure your finances are in order, and what's your future going to hold. I think those are paramount decisions that we have to look at. I can't remember who was saying it, but I started chuckling. I said, I guess one of the problems that we have when we become comfortable in our situation is we don't do some of the things that, we've always told people they ought to do. I laughed at myself yesterday because I had to go become one of those people, hey, look, I was the tribute. I went out and went to Walmart yesterday. Got around all those people. It was horrible, guys. It was terrible. I was afraid to touch one of the baskets. But on the way home, I went driving for dollars. It was really pretty cool. I had a great time. And I found some properties. The thing I've noticed is because people have been off for so long, they're really starting to take care of their yards and around their houses. So, those people that are taking care of their place, those aren't the ones that we really want to look at anyway. We're going to go look for the ones that are, have some type of distress to them. So it's really easy to see now. I mean, because everybody's out cutting their grass. It's the only thing they got left to do. They don't want to be inside with their significant other, with, divorce rate. But hey, look, guys, so it's really an easy thing to do. Get out there and spend some time. You're social distancing. You got the windows up in the car, the AC on, the radio on, looking at houses. It was really pretty cool. I don't know what else to say about this question. I think everybody's pretty much answered it as fully as we can. Other than that, just look, take time and assess what's going on out there. It's really important right now. You got a little bit of time, but it ain't gonna last forever. We need to make sure, what our plans are, kind of move that way. But take time to see what's going to shake out of the trees.
Good advice, because we get a lot of questions on that, and I think moving too fast or what we used to call deal horny is not a way to go anymore. Got to kind of think of what your exit strategy is, because it's a different time, guys.